Have you ever wondered why life sometimes takes away the things we care about the most? Why something you trusted suddenly fades away? Or a calm, predictable life, is shaken without any warning? It often feels harsh, even unfair. But what if I told you that sometimes loss isn't the final chapter? What if it is life's way of guiding you toward a place you never even knew you were looking for? Today's story might just give you some fresh hope. So please, stay with me until the end. Once, in the quiet highlands, far from the rush of towns and people, there stood an ancient sanctuary. Its stone pillars were cracked by time, and green moss climbed the walls. The courtyard rested in a deep silence, as if time itself had slowed down within its boundaries. And right at the heart of this old sanctuary hung a massive iron bell. The bell was ancient and graceful, shaped from dark metal with subtle carvings circling its rim. It had a tiny narrow opening along one side. This bell was once cherished. Travelers would walk long, winding paths just to hear its deep voice echo at dawn. But as the years passed, the sanctuary emptied, the moss grew thicker, and the bell's voice fell quiet. Dust settled on its surface like a soft blanket. Spiders wove their delicate webs inside it. Birds flew past without even a second glance. But one small finch noticed what others ignored. Inside the dark, hollow space of the bell was a safe, round shelter. It was cool during the hot summers, warm during the heavy rains, and perfectly hidden from danger. For a little bird seeking a safe start in life, it was perfect. So, the finch began her work. She carried tiny sticks in her beak. One by one, carefully building her nest within the bell. She added soft feathers, blades of grass, and delicate flower petals. It wasn't a large nest, but it was hers, and it was home. Each morning, she chirped joyfully from her safe haven. Each evening, she rested softly, feeling secure. Nothing bothered her. Nothing frightened her. In air hurt, she whispered to herself, "This is my home. Nothing can ever harm me here." She truly believed the bell would remain silent forever. But life doesn't always wait for our permission before it decides to shift. One early dawn, gentle footsteps broke the silence of the abandoned courtyard. A group of elders had returned after many, many seasons away. They lovingly cleaned the sanctuary, washed the old stone floors, and finally stood before the great iron bell. They decided it was time to ring it once more, to call the villagers back to prayer and fill the highlands with its song again. The little finch knew nothing of this. She sat calmly in her nest, believing her world was still safe and sound. Then, with one powerful swing, an elder struck the bell. The sound burst across the mountains deep, loud and mighty. The entire bell quivered with a force it hadn't felt in ages. The finch's nest shook fiercely. The tiny twigs broke apart. The soft feathers scattered into the air. The finch panicked. She darted out desperately as her home. Her entire world collapsed behind her. Everything she had built, everything she trusted, vanished in a single, deafening moment. The finch circled high above the courtyard, terrified and lost. The place that once felt so safe now felt like a trap. She perched on a branch just outside the sanctuary walls, her tiny heart aching with confusion and sorrow. Why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Why did life take away the only home I ever knew? With tired wings and a spirit heavier than she could bear, Sifluhawa, days turned into what felt like an eternity. She searched through valleys and forests, but nothing seemed right. She rested on bushes, cold rocks, and bare branches, but no place felt like home. She grew hungry. She grew weary. She even started to wonder if she should just stop searching altogether. But a quiet voice deep inside her murmured, "Keep moving. Don't surrender. Something better is waiting for you." So, she listened. She kept flying. One afternoon, following the faint whisper of running water, she arrived at a hidden glade deep within the woodland. Soft light poured gently through the canopy of tall trees. The air felt cool and pure. A small stream shimmered like silver as it flowed over smooth stones. Berry trees hung heavy with sweet, ripe fruit, and sturdy branches formed perfect, sheltered spots for a nest. The finch landed on one of the branches and looked around in awe. It was paradise. For the first time since losing her old home, she felt a spark of hope return. She began to build again. This time, she gathered twigs that were stronger. She picked leaves that were thicker and feathers that were softer. Slowly and patiently, she built a new nest, firmer, warmer, and safer than her old one. When she finally finished, she settled inside. A gentle breeze brushed her wings. The soft song of the stream comforted her. The warm sunlight warmed her feathers. She gazed at her new surroundings and whispered, this place is far better than the old bell." And then, a deeper understanding touched her heart. She realized that if the bell had never rung, she would never have left that cramped, dusty hollow. She would have stayed in the dark, never knowing this beautiful glade filled with food, peace, and light even existed. Her loss wasn't her ending. It was the unexpected beginning of something far greater. Friends, life often treats us in the very same way. We build our own safe nests, our jobs, our relationships, our daily routines, our comfort zones. We believe that nothing will ever change. We tell ourselves, this is my place, this is my path. But then, sometimes, without warning, life strikes the bell. A job fades away. A relationship ends. A plan we held so dear breaks apart. A dream collapses, and suddenly, we feel lost, afraid, and completely shaken. Just like that little finch, we ask, why me? Why now? What did I do wrong? It hurts. It feels cruel. And the road ahead looks empty and terrifying. But what we often forget in that moment of pain is that sometimes life has to push us out of our old, familiar corners so we can find the place where we truly belong. The place where we can grow, where we become stronger, and where we discover gifts within ourselves we never imagined we had. Remember the finch. The very same bell that destroyed her nest was the bell that set her free. It forced her out of a space that was too small for her true potential. It led her toward a future that was larger, brighter, and ultimately safer. So, the next time life shakes your world, please don't believe it's the end. Don't lose hope. Keep going, keep exploring, and keep trusting the journey. Because sometimes, the things you lose are simply guiding you toward the things you are always meant to find. Your next chapter may be more beautiful than anything you've ever known. Your next nest may be stronger. Your next home may be safer. And your next beginning may be your greatest start. So trust the path. Keep flying. Your paradise may be only a few wings away. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that inspires. We'll see you next time.